of not Phoenix Wright, Apollo Justice Ace Attorney on the Nintendo DS. I am still on the third case of the game. Turnabout Serenade, I think the name, if I remember this correctly. And I think I should be done with that one today. So that's that. Let me grab my controller and let's get going. Okay. Apollo, I can't believe it. What? It really happened during the second act? Ah yeah, now it's coming back to me. And right in the middle of Lumberwar's performance? Why she was in that air vent? And that switch and the flaming guitar. When you link it all together, that's what you end up with. I knew you had what it took. Hey! Daddy-o. Ah, Daddy! Mr. Wright, you believed in me. Not really. Huh? I just thought that'd make a cooler entrance than say hiya. Why do I even bother hoping? Where have you been lately, Daddy? You haven't been coming to the office at all. Ah, sorry about that, Trucy. I'm on a secret mission. Secret? You mean like you're undercover? Like Mr. Latu's, only shorter and not as well dressed. Oh no, what if you're shot too, Daddy? Haha, would I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a while again. Huh? You're leaving? Oh, one thing before I go. What? Good luck. Right. Is that all you came to say? I think you have things pretty much under control. You'll get Machi Tabaye off the hook, no doubt. Yeah, but you're after that detective, aren't you? Darian Crescent. It won't be easy proving he did it, especially not under the current court system. The current court system? What did Prosecutor Gavin say during the trial? Your case is based on one fragile assumption. Namely, that our Diva Divine is telling the truth. But what about all the proof? The brooch and the switch? A piece of jewelry and a lyrical blunder. There are plenty of other ways to explain these things, the flaming guitar too, all because you lack definitive proof of their connection to the case. But if the sultry songstress is lying, your case melts like butter in a frying pan, leaving behind the faintly singed scent of failure. So what do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Ugh. Oh, that reminds me, I have something to give you from our detective friend. Detective Sky? Emma? Let's see, this bag of snacks here was meant for me. Ah, here it is. What are those, Daddy? They don't look like very snacking material. They were found at the scene. Analysis of the fragments revealed traces of gunpowder. Gunpowder? Probably a firecracker or something similar, like the ones kids are into these days. These fragments were found under the sofa at the scene of the crime, actually. Under the sofa? Hey, Apollo! That's where we found that little device thingy! Right. This. Well, finally some evidence that makes sense. Burnt fragments handed to the court record. That's all for me, I suppose. See you after the verdict, maybe. Right. Every man has an igniter inside him. Excuse me? Find Darian Crescent's igniter and set it off. And he walked out the door just like a magician, normally. What does he want us to do? No conventional methods. What does that mean? I guess we just have to take his advice and hope it makes sense when the time comes. I guess. We're almost at the finish line. Hang in there, Trucy. Court is now back in session. Prosecutor Gavin, where is Detective Crescent? In the witness lounge, ready to be called at any time. Very well. Might I add, I don't believe any of this. Darian, was the first detective I ever worked with. We stopped working together when he moved to Criminal Affairs Division 3, but his guitar playing, it fires my imagination. That's nice, but it has nothing to do with the matter at hand. correct? Oh, I know, Air Forehead. Very well, call the final witness to the stand. Detective Darian Crescent! Name and occupation, please. Darian Crescent, Detective Criminal Affairs Division 3. That's the International Affairs Division for those of you who didn't know. And I'm a guitarist for the Gaviners. Maybe you've heard of us. Do you fully understand the circumstances under which you stand before us today? Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner. You gave me your word I wouldn't be standing here. The situation's changed, Darian. And don't call me partner. Heh, so much for old friends. I see what you're doing, Darian. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honor, if we could begin the trial? Yes, it's high time we did. Let's hear your testimony. You may begin with your response to Lamirora's testimony. If, in fact, you have anything to say about it. Oh, I got plenty to say. Lying must be a national pastime in Borginia. And wherever you're from, Mr. Justice. Ha! Conventional methods are out the window, huh? Here goes nothing. Darian's Ribolo. Diva is lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back up her story. In the first place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots? As if. Didn't Detective Emma Sky hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? The shooting took place when I was on stage, man. Well, that thing about hearing the gunshots, I think it's what Phoenix has brought me. It's the it's the crackers that made that sound, not gunshots. We heard pangs, but it was not gunshots. Hey, don't get me wrong, I dig what she's doing, trying to protect that kid. And she's got the court eating vague statements out of her hand just cause she's blind. You go too far, Darian. Look, all I'm saying is, you've got a reliable witness. Why not listen to the detective? Detective Sky? I see. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. He didn't waste any time finding our weak spot. I can't do this with Lamirora's testimony alone. I'll have to find some other way to prove when the shooting took place. Well, it's like he said, trust Emma Sky, so I'm gonna trust Emma Sky and use the evidence that she found. Assuming Phoenix Wright did not make up that evidence, and that it didn't come from him instead of the lady he says it's from. Well, that's the thing. Hold on. That's the thing. If those firecrackers made the gunshot sounds, then it's not gunshots that we heard. Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial. What things? The first was this small device. That's the remote-triggered igniter. Correct. And one more thing. What are those? The remains of something burned? Not another guitar, I hope. Traces of gunpowder were found on these fragments. We have a report that it was something like a firecracker. Oh, so the prosecution did know about it. How did Gavin know about this? What, you think Detective Sky works for you? I received a report this morning before coming here. That's when I made my decision, actually. What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin? I registered Darian as a witness in today's trial, just in case. This raises another possibility. Those gunshot-like sounds during the third set could have been two firecrackers rigged to go off by remote control. Ha ha! You got an active imagination, don't you? But you shouldn't say every little thing you think. Your explanation there seems a bit too convenient to me. How so? So you're saying these firecrackers just happened to go off right when two witnesses came walking by? Ha! That's right. Darian was out on stage when it happened, Apollo. How would he know someone was backstage right then? If a firecracker goes off in the forest, then there's no one there to hear. You get my drift? Why go through the trouble, man? How do I explain this? He may not look it, but Darian is a gifted detective. Show any weaknesses and he's sure to find it. He may not look it, partner. Gee, thanks, man. That reminds me, I happened to pass through that very hallway several times that day myself, and I saw something odd there just before the third set. Something odd? A headset, the kind all of the band and staff members were wearing. Well, I saw it too, actually, at the time. But I couldn't pick it up at that moment. I had to try later. We picked this up in front of the door to that dressing room, and it stayed there the whole time, as far as I'm aware. What if that headset wasn't dropped but placed? And what if it was turned on? You could hear what was going on in that hallway, even if you were out on stage. Heh, whose side are you on, Gavin? Listen to me, Darian. There are no sides in the court of law. Which is why I now turn to you, Air Forehead. I have a question for you. Huh? For me? The igniter and the burnt fragments that were found at the scene of the crime. It's certainly a possibility that they were part of a ruse to fake the sound of the gunshots. Throw the headset from the hallway into the mix and you could fabricate an alibi, but we're still no closer to proving anything. Those gunshots might have been real or fake, we can't say. You've raised the possibility that the shots heard during the third set were faked. Now you need to prove the other half of the case. The other half? Look, I'll just tell him. He wants you to prove the thing went down in the second act, while our little piano player was on stage. Yeah, but that's not what I'm about to do. I'm about to prove that it happened on the third act. I mean, the firecrackers. Sorry. That right, Gavin? Indeed. If you can't prove that, then to continue this cross-examination will be pointless. Well, Mr. Justice, can you prove the crime took place during the second set? Yeah, I think. You'd better know, Apollo, otherwise we're through. It can't be proven. You make it sound like someone else is going to come along and do it for you. Let's continue with the cross-examination then, shall we? Witness your testimony if you would. This isn't going to be easy. I need some decisive proof and fast. Hey, you ready, kid? 'Cause I am. Okay, so that's the part that was at it now. So it's here that I either have to press or present something, and I have an idea. Yeah, it's this one. What I'm hoping to hear is the gunshots. Because if it happened while she was in the vents, as she says, and she was singing over through her microphone while she was in the vents, maybe the gunshots would be heard on that one. This is something I haven't tried yet. There it is. I heard only one, though. There we go. Thank you for the follow, Mr. Gamers223, and hi there. Seems there was a clear proof left behind, right here in Lamiwar's song. Her song? What exactly is this, device thingy? A new variety of gramophone, perhaps? Come on, we just use this and get me started on gramophone. This device was used to record the performance part by part. Part? You move the sliders to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately, Lamiwar's voice included. Oh, but what does this prove? According to Lamiwar's testimony, at the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words to the song. Ah, you intend to examine the recording at that moment, yeah? We might even hear those gunshots. Actually, I just did, so I already know that the gunshots are there. He's sweating now. Ha, ridiculous. How are you supposed to hear gunshots back in that dressing room out on stage? Have you forgotten, Darian? We were all wearing these headsets. Oh. We're all deeply involved in our performance, but Lamarwar's headset would have picked up what she heard all the same. And let's get to analyzing that recording, right now. Lamarwar stopped singing when she heard the shots fired. Find that spot and I'll find the gunshots. Well, I already know where it is. Have to silence the tracks through 2 to 4 to 5. Can I? No, I can't skip ahead. Oh, well, there it is. It's there. Well, I've got it. It's right there. But I just found it, so what, here? Hold on. Your Honor, listen closely to this part. This is the track with Lamarwar's vocals. Then she disappears. Right. I did hear something faintly there, yes. Why, it sounded like a gunshot. What? This has to be some kind of mistake. I believe a case has been made. Gunshots were heard during the second set, which means Lamarwar's testimony was true. Grah. Order! So, she was telling the truth about what she heard. It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouze. Well, what did he say? It's over. Press the switch now. Just after that, there was a gunshot, and then the guitar caught on fire. Detective Crescent, you weren't on stage during the second set. You could have done it. But why did we only hear one gunshot on the recording? Weren't 2 bullets fired from this weapon? Lamarwar was moving through the air vent, Your Honor. She must not have been close enough for a mic to catch the first shot. But then, as she passed over the dressing room, the gun fired again, and Mr. Latouze's life was taken. I mean, it makes sense when he says it like that, but does that make enough evidence? I mean, he's only making things fit. So, well, Detective Crescent. Ha, sweating, are we? Once again I am reminded of something. Our performance that day. Your performance? Seeing the mixing board jogged my memory. You were there too, Airforehead. Yeah, that's been bothering me all along. Is it possible that when he missed how did he call that? A transition or something like that? Hello, Outsider Life. Love these series of games? Well, I love them too. I had never played this one before though, until now. What was I gonna say? Yeah, he missed a change of chord or something like that. I think that was the moment when he used the remote maybe to pop the firecrackers as we were passing by the door. Probably. Problem after problem. Achtung! My hug won't start, my guitar case is busted, my guitar's been burned to a crisp, and to top it all off, someone's dead. And then there was that performance just now. What was that all about? This part is off. Which is that? Second guitar. It was you, Darian. I thought it strange at the time. How could you miss such a simple cue? A cue? Yeah, that's what he missed. I know you. I know how you play. You're better than that. Yeah, well, You what? And Prosecutor Gavin, what are you getting at? I'm talking about the murder weapon, Mr. Latouze's 45 caliber hand cannon. As we have learned, even the shooter doesn't go unscarred with a revolver that size. The kickback is enough to dislocate your shoulder if you're an amateur. Wait, you mean his playing was affected because he heard himself shooting that revolver? Ha! You're forgetting something. Yes, Detective Crescent? I am a trained police officer, you know. I've had firearms training, plenty of it. I'm no amateur. The standard sidearm is issued to police officers is a 38 caliber weapon. A much tamer beast. Also, the murder weapon belonged to the victim, Mr. Latou's, which suggests that there was a struggle between killer and victim. So, the killer might not have been holding the revolver correctly when he fired. Is that what you mean? The thought had occurred to me, yes. Well, does the witness have anything to say to this? Detective Crescent! What I want to ask is what Mr. Sleeves rolled up ready for action has to say. Hey you, attorney! Me? Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? You got a little noise on the tape that could be anything, and you have an alleged guitar cue missed due to a 45 caliber kickback. I weep for this case, Gavin, I really do. You can line up your little weak pieces of evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager, and that's the obvious truth. The witness has a point. The defense's arguments, while persuasive, are not decisive. I believe we should hear what the witness has to say in response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Detective Crescent. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it. So he would have missed the cue, but for a different reason than what I had imagined. Come on, why would I even want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. This was that diva's first trip to this country, right? How could I possibly know her manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? No motive, no motive. Well, that's easy for him to say. Prosecutor Gavin, is it the case that Mr. Latou's had not been to our country before? According to our records, yes, not even once. I see. Very well. 'Cause fortnight. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. Great. Should we look for a motive? Well, I have an idea. Because there's a... thank you for the follow, Outsider Life. Because there's a reason why Latou's was in the country. It has to be tied to that, I think, in some way. Maybe he was the one who was supposed to buy the thing off of Tobaye or something like that. The what is that? The cure to the incuratus or something like that. You played this once, won't think with you. Yeah, thanks. I need to figure this out for myself. Yeah, otherwise it wouldn't be nearly as much fun. I'm gonna press first to hear what he has to say. Hold it! Ah, it didn't work. Hold it! Is this the 3DS version? What was that menu? Wii U? Yeah, I am on Wii U, yeah. I'm using my Wii U to stream because it's a lot easier that way. And this is the original Nintendo DS version. Time to press everything, laughing my ass off. But that's the same for Machi. No motive was proven for him. Come on, he traveled around the world with that old fart. He had plenty of time to come up with a motive of his own. More than I sure did. I mean, think about it. You sure about that? What? Wipe that look off your face before I do it for you. Listen, you tried throwing out one of your wild accusations. I'll throw it back at you so hard you'll forget what you're accusing of what. Forehead, perhaps it's best if you let your evidence do the talking, yeah? Ha 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 ha. Man, what evidence? That's what I want to know. It's probably here that I have to present evidence then. If he's saying this. So he's using this motive question as ammunition. Well, I've got ammunition too. Evidence. Okay, let's try on that last statement then. Okay. Well, I'll try. I'm not sure that this is what I'm expected to show, but I think that's what it is. Your Honor, take a look at this. What's that? Looks like candy. It's not. Don't lick it, please. Yeah, he gave a hint there, the prosecutor. That made me think, well, this is probably where I have to show evidence, and this is the only piece of evidence that I thought might link him to a motive. Looks like a piece of candy. What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings. A cocoon? Never seen one that color. It is a variety only found in the Republic of Borginia. Nowhere else. Alright, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely this has nothing to do with the motive for killing Mr. Latouze, does it? It does. Wait, I think it does. Well, that's actually my line. I think it does, yeah. You don't sound so confident, man. Well, that's because I'm not really confident about this. I think that's what it is because I don't see anything else, but... A cocoon? Is it one of those silky cocoons? The kind that you can make, well, silk out of? Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative. A curative? For what? Apparently it is most efficacious at treating a disease thought incurable. It is the only medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Borginia. Whatever for? If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world? Yeah, that's what I've been wondering. We looked into the matter at some length. Apparently it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy from the cocoon, yet if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely, a deadly poison in fact. What? That's the first I heard of this, myself. There was an incident several years ago where some of these got out onto the black market. It caused quite the commotion in the global community, though the media was kept largely unaware. Which AA games have you all played? Well, personally, I've only played the original trilogy. I streamed the trilogy when it came out on the Switch, because I only ever owned the first game on the Nintendo DS. My brother has all of the other Nintendo DS games, but I had never played them. And after the trilogy came out on the Switch, I played and streamed the remaining 2 games. And now this one. That's my 4th Ace Attorney. That's the 4th one that I play. Though the media was kept largely unaware. Intriguing. All this has led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export. One rigidly enforced by Interpol among others. Interpol? Right. The victim, Romain Latouze, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescent, you insist on referring to him as a manager, but that is misleading. Romain Latouze wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent. So I was trying to smuggle this gumball into the country? That what you're trying to say? I'm saying that could well be a motive for murder. If he was on to you, for one thing. Oh, so I was going to sell it on the black market, make myself a pretty penny. Ridiculous. I mean, totally unthinkable. Unthinkable, you say. Why? Perhaps it's time for another testimony about this smuggling of cocoons business. And it just so happens that the son of the Chief of Justice or something like that happens to have the disease that this thing is supposed to be able to cure. That's just too big of a coincidence to not be linked, especially since I've got the paper here as evidence. Newspaper article about the Chief of Justice's son who is inflicted with incuratus. If I have it as evidence, it's probably because I have to show it at some point. Yeah, so I've played the trilogy, yeah, the original trilogy, none of the 3DS games, and then this one, yeah. I'd like it if they would re-release the trilogy on the Nintendo Switch. The reason I never got them on the 3DS was because they never got a physical release over here in Europe. They were only ever digital only on the 3DS in Europe. And even if I imported a copy from somewhere else, the 3DS was region locked. But the Switch isn't. So I imported actually my physical copy of Phoenix Wright Trilogy from Japan. So it has to be able to own a physical copy of the games. After this, you should probably play Ace Attorney Investigations 1 and 2, the fan subversion. Yeah, actually, I have access to these games because my brother owns the first. And I've already downloaded for my brother the second game and the fan translation so that he could play it. So, yeah, this is something that I could do in the future, yeah. I haven't played Ghost Trick either yet, which is another Capcom game that I own and which I actually have never played. I bought the cartridge like ages ago, Ghost Trick, and I never played it. And I hear it's an excellent game, and I'd like to be able to play that at some point. Meaning you haven't played Dual Destiny, Spirit of Justice, and what's that? DGS? What's that? DGS? DGS. Daigakten Saiban. Yeah, 1 and 2. Yeah, or Phoenix Wright and Layton, the crossover game. Yeah, I haven't played any of those. Yeah. Yeah. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in international affairs. I know the deal. Ghost Trick is made from the same story writer as the trilogy. It is a great game. Yeah, but that's what I hear, yeah. And I've owned the cartridge ever since it came out, pretty much. And I have never played it. I have a huge backlog of games. Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latu's undercover. You kids think up the craziest things, but no way am I going to risk life and limb, just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money. Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted. I'm actually watching the anime of Ace Attorney at the moment, because it is available on Crunchyroll. So I'm in the process of watching the episodes that have something to do with the original trilogy. As far as I'm aware, there is only 2 seasons. And I'm currently watching the 2nd season of the anime of Phoenix Wright. My brother owns a few of the volumes of the manga as well, but I have never read them. Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted. I'm kind of wondering when the next Attorney game is coming out. Well, we haven't had the 2 Daigakten Saiban games, so I'm wondering if we would get them, if there was another one. For the time being, I wouldn't mind if they would make an HD re-release of those 3DS games on the Nintendo Switch. That's something that, or other platforms for that matter, but as long as the Switch is included, because that's where I play for the most part anyway. According to reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Selling them to an underground organization would be risky. Well, I think he never planned to sell them. He plans to maybe give them to the Chief of Justice or something like that. This is the only motive I've got. He was up to something, and I'm going to find out what. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol is all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Maybe. Can't sell them, you say. But maybe you had something else in mind. Come on. Yeah, Interpol finds you, they arrest you on the spot. Or another marketeer might think you're part of a sting and take you on himself. Times have changed. But wouldn't scarcity drive up prices? Not telling you since I've seen the game. Yeah, and attention. Every gangster and his brother would want a piece of that action. They'd turn your forehead into Swiss cheese before you could say objection. Maybe we could get them to cut his hair too. Oh, come on. Who's on trial here again? Man, you so obviously know nothing about the markets. And that's a bad thing? Yeah, don't even try to mess with me about this stuff. Well, he's saying it himself. He knows the deal, so he wouldn't have tried to sell them. So it obviously has to be for another reason. If he is linked to it, and if I want to link him to it, the only reason I can see is because of the Chief of Justice's son needing the cure right about now. What I don't know is at one point I'm supposed to present it. Oh, I guess I can take a penalty. I haven't taken a single one yet, so if it's not here and it's on the next one, I can still go back and try again. But I think this is it, considering the music stopped. How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my keister goodbye. One of the massive reasons Daikyak and Saiban still isn't translated is due to the last couple of home stories that are... yeah, there was a bit of that. Yeah, I remember reading about this, yeah. They are still copyrighted in the USA, and the games include some references from those stories, and the reason they won't translate it for Europe, Australia is due to the risk of the USA importing them, and... Yeah, right, yeah. And in the end, Capcom will be put to blame for that. Yeah, it's fair, yeah. That's a fair point. I have no idea if the last few games have been selling well, though, to be honest. I have no idea. I haven't heard anything about them selling badly or not. Speaking of the crossover with the with Professor Layton, I actually have to play a lot of the Professor Layton games too. I only ever played the fourth one. Despite the fact that I own all of the originals on Nintendo DS and one on the 3DS, I haven't got the last one, and Catriel something the last one that just got re-released in HD. I never owned that one either. Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this? That article that's about the Chief Justices. A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon, but so can a cure, and not a cure for just any disease. For the crossover, you don't need to have played both series. But even so, I still would like to be able to play them eventually. I mean, I bought all those original Nintendo DS games. Admittedly, I bought them used, so I didn't pay a lot of money for them. But still, I mean, I bought them. They're on my backlog. I have to play them at some point. Incuritus? I've heard of that somewhere. You've just been visiting the damn sun just not long ago. You went to visit the victim of the disease this morning. Aha! Why, that's the disease Chief Justice's son has. You aren't saying... Our witness is a detective. He would have contact with the Chief Justice. You are saying... The Chief Justice would never deal in contraband. Not even to save his own son's life. But even if the deal went through, why it'd be an international scandal? That's Detective Crescent's insurance. If word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be the Chief Justice. Detective Crescent, is this true? I don't mean it to hold you back, just mentioning it isn't really needed, but it's good to know that it's not necessarily needed, yeah. It's still good to know, yeah. But if I have to buy those games, I'd rather buy them physical, and I can't buy them physical in Europe, so... Both characters get introduced like it is your first game with them, both veterans from Layton never knowing Phoenix in reverse, yeah, and vice versa, yeah. First I am a murderer, now I'm a smuggler. How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway? Distasteful as it is to think about if the Chief Justice were the buyer. Why, a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. A very cowardly seller. Don't let sleeves over there trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice. Where's your proof? Well, that's a fair point. I don't have proof. Or maybe I do, and I just don't know it yet. Oh yeah, and you're forgetting one other important thing. Do tell. Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching this. Borginian Customs barely sleeps. They're so worried about Cocoons getting out. So we were informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination. Well, if I have to present something, it's probably on that bit of dialogue that's just been added. The Layton and Phoenix crossover is physical. Since level 5, the devs of Layton worked on the selling of the game. Well, that's good to hear at least. But I can't stream 3DS games though, so that's not very convenient for me. For the purpose of streaming it. Everything and everyone gets checked. Well, even the artists, but I can't present profiles in this one. Oh, hold on. So it is in the evidence anyway, since I can't present profiles. It's something the prosecutor said. There is something that went through customs without getting checked because it went through a different network. This one. It's something the prosecutor said. Something about his network or something like that. That he was able to have it come inside the country using some kind of a prosecutor thing for getting stuff through customs or something like that. But I'm not entirely sure that this is what it is. But I don't see anything else. I just remember the prosecutor mentioning it, that's all. Because I was thinking to myself about the members of the band, well, Tobaye and Lamewar being able to maybe get through customs without getting checked. And then that reminded me of the guitar getting through customs through a special method. So do you ship people in this game? Need a hint about what evidence he mentioned? No. I think that's what it is. And judging from the music not playing anymore, I think I've got it right. Actually, there is one way. He showed me the box or something that the guitar came in. There was even an artwork made specifically to show what he meant. One way to get something out of the country, no checks. What is it? You become a prosecutor. A prosecutor? He's realizing it now. I don't believe it. Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. What was it that you told me yesterday at your office? It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting a woman like Lamewar. How did it end up here? I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it. So this guitar is from Virginia. That it is. We couldn't carry it on the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruined the wood. Yeah, that was the reason. So we vacuum packed it in Lamewar's studio. I used a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. That's what it was, yeah. They brought it right up to my office for me. Pristine and untouched. Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched. Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets of vacuum packed in Virginia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying that guitar was used to carry the cocoons? With cocoons this small, it would have been very easy. To use your guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Virginia. What? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin, that guitar had some work done on it recently, right? Work? Good memory, Herr Forehead. Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It is called the sound hole. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort. A broken device? Ah, yeah, the device. Yeah, that's true. The cocoon could have been inside. I thought it was simply the igniter that was used to set it on fire, but it might have been used for something else too. Exactly. Consider this, if you will. What if that igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside your guitar? Oh, yeah, okay, never mind. You mean... He means this, of course. There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. They could use Picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And who better to do that than someone, yeah, like a member of the band. Right, okay. That was a bit fast when the text scrolls automatically like this. Sometimes I don't have time to read. Out loud anyway. Order! 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 So the igniter was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems. It was a safety precaution. A precaution? Herr Forehead. At last it all comes together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review? Maestro, the gentle sounds of Laberwar's ballad, if you please. Or if you will. I didn't get to read the last bit. First, my keys were stolen, a harmless misdemeanor, which forced me to break the lock on my guitar case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar. I see. But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only a member of the band could get near that case. Unwrapping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. Then the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler. What's that? Mr. Latouze. Ah, Mr. Latouze, an undercover agent, was onto something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So, Mr. Latouze tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon were confiscated, then the gig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was to get rid of the whole lot. It's over. Press the switch, now! The guitar burst into flames, and the cocoon was lost. Ah, that was why then. It's because it was already discovered. So it was not part of the magician's whole plan then. I thought all along it was part of the magician's trick, and that the magician might have something to do about it because of it, but I guess he didn't. He never did actually. With Lamoire there to witness it. There is your case. Heh heh. Brilliant, man. Detective Crescent? I gotta know, you make all that up on the fly? For a made-up story, it makes a great deal of sense, Darian. Heh, the Republic of Virginia? Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there. True, you haven't. Ha, let's see you make up a story for that, kid. How'd I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh? It's not so hard to imagine you had help, a Virginian accomplice. That's all. That he had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lamoire heard proves it. It's over. Press the switch now. You made this transmission from backstage, while your co-conspirator was on stage. But who was it? This is it, the coup de grace. And for once, I know what I'm doing. There was only one person who could have helped him. Well, Tomaye. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say then. But be warned. With a great accusation comes great responsibility. I feel like Spider-Man all of a sudden. Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? He already admitted to it in front of me, so I don't see who else it could be. There is only one person who meets all the requirements of the accomplice, and that person is the defendant, Machito Baye. But Mr. Justice, he's your client. Well, he's not being tried for smuggling cocoons. Who cares if he did that? I'm only hired to prove that he was innocent of murder, that's all. A defense attorney accusing his client, that's a new one. I assure you no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I am here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouze, and I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of that particular crime. Indeed, the defendant is Borginian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. But what if it was in fact Lamoire? It couldn't have been. Well, you seem sure of yourself. The reason is electronic signals, Your Honor. Electronic signals? Recall that this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless. Yes, that's true. Now, think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, Lamoire was in the air vent, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. This is the area that the remote should reach from the air vent. Well, looking at this, it seems that Lamoire still could have done the deed. Nope. When the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. The platform on which he was playing was raised, so he was a bit further away from the vent, wasn't he? It was in the middle of the guitar serenade. Part of the stage was raised. The prosecutor gave in. He's too quick for me, I can't read. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lamoire's position in the air vent. Ah. Well, Detective Crescent, what do you say to that? Your Honor? Yes, Detective? Could we see the video where Given's guitar burns? Just one more time. Well, I don't see why not. What, don't tell me he has a way out of this. Too bad, so sad, punk. Punk? First were sleeves, then kid, now punk. You're losing rank fast, Apollo. What exactly were we supposed to see in this video? The problem isn't in what we see, correct, Darian? Right, it's what you hear. We are musicians, after all. Care to explain for us non-musicians? Because I don't know where he's going with this. Sure thing, punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered the wee pianist to set off that igniter? That right? Yes. Well, in order to do that, he'd have to press a switch. Am I right? Okay. Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano. Piano? But he's still playing, if that's what he means. That seems to be the problem there. The piano sounded just fine. And that's the problem, man. You still don't get it? Ah, yeah. How is he supposed to hit that switch if he's playing? You've got Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums. The only one with her hands free was the Diva. La Miroir, but according to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Yeah. Well, at the moment when the igniter is being pressed, I mean, there are pauses when you're playing the piano. He could pause, press the switch, and then put his hand back down. I mean, But I can't explain it that way, so there has to be another, much simpler way to explain it. Your accomplice would have had a hard time helping out if they couldn't even press a switch. Piano plays non-stop. Is that true, though? He couldn't have pressed that switch. Well, Mr. Justice, the piano does seem to be playing when the guitar catches fire. Well, it's okay, we all make mistakes sometimes. Apollo, were you wrong? Well, there is some auto-playing in some pianos, aren't there? That's true as well, yeah. And besides, he doesn't even have to have anything auto-playing at the piano. I mean, if he had like a recording plugged into the mixing board, he wouldn't have had any trouble pressing a switch without actually playing the piano. That's how playback works, after all. I do not see him in the video. I don't know. Yeah, we don't see him, actually. That's a fair point, too. I mean, if you plug something like, I don't know, even a tape or something like that, or a digital recording into the mixing board, you could still get away with it, I suppose. Everything makes perfect sense. How could it all just... Strange. What's strange? No, it's just... Something's odd about the performance there. Odd? Mr. Justice, if Machitobaya didn't press that switch, then he could not be the accomplice you claim he is. But everything points to it. Every fact says he's the accomplice. Not the least of which the fact that he told me. But anyway, you got the facts wrong, man. Here are some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire, but the pianist didn't press that switch. In other words, your story is full of holes. Mr. Justice, let's hear what your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant Machitobaya the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you've said here. Give it some thought. Apollo, if Machi is not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined. I know that. It has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. He had to have pressed that switch. Well, you'd better find a way to prove it. What do I do? What do I do? There has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd. Something odd. Wait a second. What? You thought of something? What was Gaming saying just now? He said something about the performance being odd. Something odd about the performance there. Let's have a look at the video again, maybe? Because it is true that we can't see him. Well, he's not moving his hands, but that could be just be a stylistic choice. We don't hey, he's not at the piano here! Look at this, he's not even sitting at the piano! Yeah, he's not even sitting in front of it! Wait, did he mess up in the music? I don't think he did, no. The manager is full of holes. I forgot. No, apparently he's not even sitting at the piano from what I'm seeing. So it's not much to go on, but it's all I've got. What exactly did he hear that was odd? Have you come up with something, Mr. Justice? May I remind you that everything rests on this. Can you prove Machitobaye pressed that switch? Let's hear your final answer. Can you prove that Machitobaye pressed that switch? Well, let's say I can prove it. I don't know if you call this proof per se, but I can't prove it was possible. Then as prosecutor, it falls to me to ask you to show us evidence supporting this. Air forehead, you're sure about this? Ha! Accept it. There's no evidence, man. Let's see your evidence, Mr. Justice. On what do you base your claim that the defendant pressed that switch? Busted. Hi, Jeff. Well, I think if you look at the VHS... I hope that's what it is. The basis for my claim is this evidence, Your Honor. I'm not sure I follow. I'm faring good, Jeff. How are you? Ha, you can't bluff your way out of this one. Why? I was wrong? Nor can you prove anyone pressed the switch with that evidence. Maybe I picked the wrong evidence, but he's not even sitting at the piano. He's absent. Come on. What, that's not it? Let me listen to the mixing board recording then, maybe? Which one is the piano? No, that's the bass. Come on. Well, there was a short pause, I guess. Right at the end of the first segment. There was a small tournament this weekend and I've been busy with practice and organizing the practice since I'm the leader. Tournament of what, Jeff? Unfortunately, been unable to come to your stream. It's alright, mate. Yeah, there is a short pause. There is a short moment of silence. If Machi's hands were tied up playing the piano, perhaps you can show us your evidence again? His hands were not so tied up if there was that short pause. A disgusting, filthy game called League of Legends? Ah, okay. I think that is just DS limitations because the video was using 3D models and it was a DS game. That could be as well that occurred to me, yeah. It's possible that he was missing in that scene simply because they did not take the time to put him in there, maybe. Maybe this is, he stopped to press the switch. Yeah, I think that's what it must be. Basis for my claim is music, Your Honor. Music? What about music? The text is different, at least. I seem to be onto something. Let's listen to the piano part around the time when the switch was to be pressed. Right before the guitar burst into flame. Oh, it was further in? Oh, so it's further into the song than I thought. I hear a piano being played. But doesn't it sound kind of simple? Simple? Ah, he's, he's only playing with one hand maybe, but this is not the kind of thing that I would be able to spot because I'm no musician myself. I think I know what he's suggesting. Do you think Machi could have played that part with one hand? One hand? He only needed one hand to press that switch. He could have played... He could play the piano with the other. Huh, what? So you're some kind of piano savant? Actually, no. Yeah, and neither am I. Then, what do you know? You can't play a part like that with one hand. Maybe. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy. Yeah? You got something? Mr. Wright, your father, he's a pianist. Could he... Oh, Daddy? He couldn't play a part like that even if he had 3 hands. So sorry, so sad for you. No, not really. Huh? That was just the easy way to prove it. There's always the hard way. Man, how are you going to prove whether he played it with one hand or 2? You can't. I admit, it would be rather difficult to prove, but it's highly likely he was playing with one hand. How do you know that? The clue is what prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd. What sounded odd? I'll bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song. No, no way. Well, it seems we've come to the moment of truth at last. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say for himself. So, show us the part that proves the defendant was playing with one hand right before the guitar burst into flame. Machi was definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar caught fire, and one section of the song proves it. Well, it's on track 4 anyway. Is it the second one? Well, I'd like to listen to it first. Well, there was a pause there. It's already on fire, I think, at that point, isn't it? But I think it's this one. That's the section? I'm afraid I don't hear it. What's your opinion as an artist, Prosecutor Gavin? It's a beautiful song, and the lyrics are outstanding. Well, you would say that. You wrote them. I'll take that to mean there isn't a problem with this section at all. Wait, so what was the odd thing that Gavin heard? Well, the first time I heard it, it was on the... The switch was pressed in the first half of the second verse, right? I know, I just need to find a place to compare to that. Your Honor, if you'll give me one more chance, I think I can find it. I suppose we don't have a choice. Very well. We claim the defendant was playing with one hand. The end of the first one, because I think that's what I noticed the first time. Whoops. Well, that's weird. I thought I heard a pause in the first section before. I don't know, I'll try. There's only 4 anyway, so... And I don't seem to take any penalty. So... Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you've realized by now just what it was that sounded odd to you. As I'm sure you've realized it yourself, your forehead. Realized what? I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the but a fleeting melody phrase. Well, there are a lot of lonely notes, if that's what he means. Man, 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 how many times do we have to listen to the same thing? You're right, enough of that. Let's listen to another section, shall we? Another section? The guitar bursts into flames at the end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spot in the first verse. Pay attention to the "Oh, that night in your embrace." Ah, play verse 2 again. It's Nintendo DS, so... It's not even 240p actually, it's 192p to be exact. Because that's the resolution of the original DS. They feel the same, true. But they're clearly very different. What? Well put, Your Honor. The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple, but the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. You'd have to use two hands to play that for sure. So I was right. It's in the second verse that there was something that was wrong. But I had to present the one that was correct as proof. That's a bit weird. What's that proof? I would think you'd know that by now. This is why I hate dealing with amateurs, man. So, the two verses had different arrangements. Happens all the time. Not this time, Darian. There's no point in changing an arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. And that wasn't the point. I had him play specifically so that the piano would stay in the background. Oh. That was what I noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different, I asked myself. Now ask yourselves why Machi changed how he played, and there's only one answer. He needed a free hand in order to press the switch. No! Order! 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 I believe this ties all the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, quite. Though personally, this comes as a terrible disappointment. Heh. What? No comeback? I can't believe it. I finally did it. I shut him up. Sounds too easy. I'm expecting something. Very well. Barring an objection from the prosecution, I will now state the court's opinion on this matter. Heh. Heh heh heh. Good show, Sleeves. No great show. No, great show. It's not over. I don't like it when he looks so happy. You tell him, Gavin. Tell him what's so disappointing. Personally, I'm terribly disappointed. In you, Herr Forehead. Huh? What? What did I do wrong again? Yes, don't get me wrong. Your case is solid. The facts all check out. But even now, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence. Ah, who cares about evidence? Yeah, but the facts. Anyone can see it was him. Unfortunately, anyone does not include the law. I'm afraid your case doesn't cut it. But... 1,000 facts might point toward the same conclusion, but without decisive evidence, it's not proof. That's the rule under our current legal system. I don't believe it. It does not seem as though the defense has any more evidence to present. Oh, I think if it did, we already would have seen it a long ways back. It is unfortunate, but at present, this court is unable to acknowledge your accusation. What? The truth is staring us all right in the face. Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals? Apollo, remember what Daddy said. It won't be easy proving he did it, especially not under the current court system. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck, and be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Urgh. Every man has an igniter inside him. Find Darien Crescent's igniter and set it off. I wonder what he meant by every man's igniter. I think he just meant a weak spot, no? The kind of thing that a single spark could turn into a wildfire of emotion. I won't be able to press him further by conventional means. I've got to find a weak spot in this guy, something fatal. So, can I get back to work now or what? It may look like I got a lot of time on my hands, but I got no more time to pretend with this deadweight attorney. Well, Mr. Justice, we've come this far without decisive evidence. This witness won't be coming back to the stand once we let him go. Every man has an igniter. Huh? Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin, sorry. Ah, yes, good guitars are kept dry, is why. That provides the best sound. Even a small spark could cause irreparable damage. Your plan has an igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning. What? Finding time, Justice. If you blow this one, he'll be out of your hands for good. Go for it, Apollo. What does this all mean? What, and this igniter is supposed to come burn me up? That's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney. All the better. I'm rather fond of poetry. And I intend to hear this one through to the very end. Here, forehead. You are accusing this man, Darien Crescent, of 2 crimes. The murder of Mr. Latouze and the smuggling of a Virginian cocoon. This is your last chance to prove your case. This trial has already run on for far too long. Mr. Justice, this will be my last warning. The moment this igniter of yours turns out to be a dud, is the moment this cross-examination ends. Understood? Yes, Your Honor. Then let's have it. Show us the basis for these accusations against Darien Crescent. Okay, this is really my last chance. The key that will take part in Darien Crescent's plan is... I'm not too sure. Well, Darien said it himself. I have no evidence, so he said. And he seemed pretty confident about it. But he didn't say anything about a witness. Well, I'm gonna save very quickly. So that I can fall back onto it if this doesn't prove to be the right choice. Your igniter isn't a piece of evidence. Huh? So what is? It is true that I couldn't show decisive evidence. But perhaps what I needed to prove my case was something else. You mean a witness? Yes, I did make a restore point in the emulator. Proving his guilt is a tall order, but I've got just the person to do it. I think I'm onto something though, so it might not have been necessary, but all the same. Who is this person who can prove Darien Crescent's guilt? His accomplice! Who else but his accomplice, right? Besides, there aren't too many choices. It's not gonna be Trucy, it's not gonna be Phoenix Wright, it's not gonna be the prosecutor, it's not gonna be the victim, because how would he testify? I can't call himself, not Emma Sky, and not the magician. That leaves Lameroir and the other dude, and the accomplice seems to make more sense, so... This is what makes sense to me. Is the defendant Machi Tobaye your client again? Machi Tobaye was an accomplice to the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darien Crescent could not have gotten to the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle that cocoon is the real criminal in this case. How so? It required just one of the very cocoons Mr. Latouze was looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Borginia, we could burn a cocoon. The burnt cocoon would leave a particular residue. A residue we would no doubt also find inside the burnt out guitar. Very scientific of you. Thus, if Machi Tobaye acknowledges his agreement with Darien Crescent concerning the attempted smuggling of a Borginian cocoon, the case is solved. Heh. Darian's laughing again. Oops. Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to. Why not? The little key tickler won't acknowledge anything, especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling. What's this all about? Taking a cocoon out of the country means death, by Borginian law, but he doesn't necessarily have to go back, does he? Yeah, see? If our pianist really was a smuggler, then testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking. But you're wrong, Detective Crescent. What? It's the other way around. If Machi doesn't admit to smuggling here, he's in deep trouble. Well, he's gonna be accused of murder. So... Look, if Machi admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts by our laws. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country. Ah, the victim in this case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure that news has already reached Borginia, and they'll likely broadcast our dealings in court today, including the part about the Borginian cocoon. Yeah, but... But if Machi doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'd eventually be picked up by the Borginian police, and it's not like he's in any danger in our courts. We're not going to find him guilty of murder here, not now. Yeah, but you can't do this. You can't accuse me. Maybe the law doesn't allow it, but who's going to think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? The same goes for Machi Tobaye. The cocoon smuggling, your entire plan, Machi Tobaye knows everything. There's only one way out of it for him, and that's to acknowledge his own crime. The crime of cocoon smuggling. Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. I'll set you up someplace, a hidden mansion, real nice. You want a house made out of cookies? Or no, a house made out of pianos? Come on. Please! Don't... So, don't talk. Okay, well, right, whatever. Darien, I consider that my last session with you. We rocked. I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession? Uh-oh, he's laughing again. There's a kind of sick desperation in it now, though. Bruh, you gotta stop playing with his hair. That is kinda not suitable for work. The way he does so? Yeah. That's a bit suggestive. Yeah, indeed. Well, have you been listening to today's trial? Yes. And you'll talk. You tell this court everything? I didn't want it to turn out this way, but I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime. Today's trial was all for your benefit, you know. I see no reason why you should hesitate now. I knew, from beginning I knew. Machi, situation, I cannot explain, but money, I need it. Very much money. Today's trial raises a delicate issue with our legal system. The only thing definite in a court of law is evidence. This is the golden rule. However, it has become apparent that not all things can be tried by this standard. Should another case of this sort surface, we may have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Machi Tobaye, yes, I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country. And with regards to the current charges for the murder of Mr. Latouze, this court is prepared to announce a verdict. Ah, it's the first time we see his eyes. I thank you. I only lie, but you see truth. You find truth. That's our job, very well. This court finds the defendant, Machi Tobaye, not guilty! Court is adjourned. Right. I'll get something to drink. All that reading out loud, making me thirsty. I wonder what'll happen to Machi. Well, he did smuggle a cocoon out of Borginia. I guess there'll be another trial here. All's well that ends well. Ah, Phoenix. Daddy-o, well, he is underage, he won't get sentenced. He's only 14, so yeah. He might be left off the hook for that long. Yeah. Daddy, I owe you both my thanks. La Miroir. Is something wrong? I'm sorry, Machi was your partner on stage, your friend. Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Even now I do. Yet, something got a hold of him. Something evil, I see that. And he must pay for what he has done. Is that not how it should be? I'm still sorry. Do not be sorry. You have given me courage. Courage? I am considering an eye operation. It was my suggestion, actually. You mean you'll be able to see again? It's funny, I have always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving. According to the doctor, La Miroir lost her sight due to some kind of accident. An accident? As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I feared that if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I have been running from. I was scared. You know what changed her mind? Hearing your defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth. If the light returns to my eyes, I think I will take a painting. Painting? That's right, she's a landscape painter in sound after all. I will paint the two of you, I promise. Woohoo, I can't wait, La Miroir. I owe you my thanks too, Apollo. Thanks, Mr. Wright, but for what? You reminded me I need to hurry things along. On my secret mission, that is. Right, your secret mission. Apollo, Trucy, I hope that we will meet again someday soon. You bet, me too. And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on and on until it came to the end. Thanks to the trial, the Guitar Serenade was a huge hit. Prosecutor Gavin's even more dazzling to look at now, but there's something I want to say to that guy. Next time you write a ballad, have them catch the killer at the end. The end. It's the end of the third case. There's still one more. A brand new episode has been added. Turnabout Succession. Turnabout Succession. And that is the whole truth of this case. Mason system. Someone's dead. In order to understand myself, I had to know the story of these last 7 long years. Nothing happens by chance. All is connected. And now, you stand ready to begin the final chapter of the story. Who was that? Will the defendant be found guilty or innocent? The decision is yours. Wait, I know that guy. October 7th, 10:37 AM. Right, anything in the agency. Well, I've got still the whole case to go through, so I expect to have still a few hours of game ahead of me, especially since the last case is always the longest one in an Ace Attorney game. And that last one was already pretty long. Hey Apollo, look on TV! Look! Look! Yeah, I'm kinda busy. Wow, look at that! He's the last Gramarye, right? Alright. Amazing. Apollo, you should be watching this. Ow, ow, ow. What? I was writing about our last case in my journal. Lawyers are supposed to write things in records, Apollo, not journals. Yeah, this is the longest? Well, yeah, I figured. And kinda tricky, as the last cases tend to be in those games. I mean, I have experience from the previous games, so I'm expecting to be able to make it, but not without difficulty, perhaps. And why now? That case was 3 months ago. Hey, it's a long story. I did a lot, you know. I want to vacuum pack the feel of the moment for later. Right now, I'm wowing the crowd by figuring out how Lumberwar disappeared. That's right, Uncle Valen did that illusion too. But you're missing him on TV right now. I was just getting to the good part. I suppose I should watch a little TV with her. After all, her father is expecting me to look after her while he's away. What you're now seeing is a rehearsal for the greatest magic show on Earth, happening right here at our very own Sunshine Coliseum. Sunshine Coliseum, that's where the last case took place. Hey, that's where the Governor's Consort was. Only 3 more days until miracles happen here, right before your unbelieving eyes. The legendary troupe Gramarye is performing for the first time in 7 years. That's going to be great! I'm so there! You and Daddy are coming too. The legendary Gramaryes. If Trucy's real father were still alive, he'd be on that stage performing miracles. I've got the tickets and everything. Here's yours, Apollo. Magic show ticket received. Ah, you are here, working hard or hardly working? Hey, how have you been? Hi there, stranger. Not exactly the kind of greeting I'd want to hear from my own kid. Though he has been gone for a long time. So, who do you ship? What do you mean, who do I ship? What? Though he has been gone for a long time. How goes it, Trucy? Here, I got a present for you. Yay, pudding! I love pudding! Oh, it's farm fresh. And not just 1 pudding, but 3 whole cups. I'll have to pace myself. Well, I'm beat. That's right, Daddy. You're on a top secret mission. You got to take it easy with the secrets, you know? Oh, how right you are. So you still can't tell us what your mission is. Maybe it is time. It has something to do with you anyway. Huh? With me? Oh, maybe you're getting a top secret mission too. Maybe you can be one of those guys? A spy. Can't I just be the defense attorney? To be honest, telling you about the mission was my whole reason for coming here today. What? Tell me. You've heard of the jurist system, yes? The jurist system. That's right, the new legal system everyone's talking about. Have you heard of it, Apollo? Huh? Maybe? Maybe not as many people are talking about it as I thought. The jurist system, huh? Well, what is it? So, Daddy, what's this jurist system thing? Well, Trucy, do you know what a jury is? I've heard of it. Isn't that those people who sit in court in those courtroom dramas? The ones who get to decide if a guy is innocent or guilty? Do you know, Apollo? Only from TV. It's 12 people chosen from the community, right? Well, they're thinking about reviving that system. They're calling the new system the jurist system. No more doing whatever you like, Your Honor. Not quite that harsh. Jurists cooperate with the judge. They help analyze the case from different angles. Ah, and there will be only 6 of them under the current proposal, right? Wow, you know your stuff, Apollo. Their findings directly affect the verdicts. Hopefully, people will start taking the courts a little more seriously now. I feel like I'm some kind of educational TV show, starring Dr. Wright. Dr. Wright is Assistant Trucy and Mascot Apollo, the perfect team. Mascot, hey! So, what is the secret mission? The jurist system is my mission, more or less. Anyway, keep in mind that new ideas like the system are always risky, Apollo. Too true. Everyone's got an opinion, and they just talk and nothing gets decided. Kind of like you, Apollo. I'm not that bad. Am I? In any case, we're going to give it a shot. A test, if you will. I don't like tests. We'll take a case as a sample and choose 6 jurists. I'll be the one helping with that process, incidentally. Helping how? Well, for one, I'll be chair of the Jurist System Simulated Court Committee. The chair constructs the ideal situation, choosing the case, jurist candidates, even the judge and the courtroom. Wow, it's like you have a real job. I was never that good at the piano, to be honest. Once a lawyer, always a lawyer, I guess. The trial's tomorrow, by the way. Don't miss it. The trial simulation, that is. A simulation, huh? Sounds interesting. So, what kind of case is the trial simulation about? Shipping, initially derived from the word relationship, is a desire by fans for 2 or more people, either real-life people or fictional characters, to be in a romantic relationship. Well, you're asking who is my waifu in the game or something? I don't know, I guess. Well, I could see, I guess, Apollo and Emma Sky, or maybe Phoenix Wright and Emma Sky, I guess. Bear in mind, English is not my native language, so I don't know everything yet. Well, since it is the first run-through of a new system, I wanted something simple. Good thinking, no sense wearing yourself out on something too serious. True, the case is a murder. That's not simple at all. Well, Phoenix, I guess he gets along better with Maya, so... I mean, they've been together for so long. I mean, she was young at the start, but here a few years have passed, so 7 years, so she's an adult now. Maya, so I could see Maya with Phoenix. Well, truth is, she's way too young, so it's a big no-no with Apollo, so Apollo and Emma Sky, I guess. They would go together well. By simple, did you mean that the defendant is guilty? Yes, most likely. So, good luck, Apollo. With what? With the trial tomorrow. You're defending, of course. Recall that I said it had something to do with you? Go for it, Apollo. It's just a test case anyway. No sweat. Yeah, but there's still a verdict to be decided. And a potentially serious sentence, the most serious in the worst case scenario. Alright, you mean the verdict's for real? That's not a test trial, that's a real trial. All the forms have been filed, and there's no turning back now. The trial begins tomorrow at 10 AM. Hope you can make room in your schedule. Why am I only hearing about this now? Ah, yes, there was a change this morning. I picked a new case. Eh? Something that happened last night. Still thirsty. Hey Apollo, I know you're all excited about that secret mission. But what about this? The Troop Gramarye Grand Magic Show? Huh? Oh, right, the card tricks. They're not card tricks. They're grand illusions, miracle, the apocalypse, heaven and earth, and so forth, so on and so forth. So, what? That's 3 whole days from now. It's at Sunshine Coliseum. Let's go today. We can say hi to Uncle Valent. Have fun. What? I can't go by myself. You know, I'm not very outgoing. Right. Why not go with her? But what about the secret mission? Oh, don't worry about that. You'll hear all about it tomorrow regardless. I don't trust that smile. He knows something that he's not telling me. Yippee! Now you can take me to the Coliseum. Thank goodness you did not ship both Apollo and Trucy, the reason I can't stand you as of now. They're not brother and sister, are they? Like that mysterious father that died a long time ago. Come to think of it, now that you say it, I can't unsee that there is a physical resemblance between the two. I can't unsee it now. Well, I can't compare side by side the pictures right now, but... Now you can take me to the Coliseum. I suppose it wouldn't kill me to pop over there. I don't know. Well, now that you've said it, I can't help but think that this is what it is. Now that you've raised the question, I can't help but think that is what it is. Gramarye, that reminds me. What's this, Daddy? Isn't that Silk Hat the Gramarye seal? And besides, they have kind of the same power to perceive people's, like, habits in court. So they have that in common. So that kind of makes me think that there is a deeper connection between the two. Hint, you are wrong. Oh, okay, well, fair enough then. Okay. Okay, then. Fair enough. Consider it a birthday present, Trucy. Thanks, it's great. But today isn't my birthday. Good point. What day is it today, Apollo? Today? I think it's Recycle Your Plastics Day. Then it's a Recycle Your Plastics present. Yippee, so it's plastic. I've given up trying to understand them. It's much easier that way. So, what is it? Can I open it, Daddy? No. Huh? You'll need that envelope someday. Someday soon. Don't open it until then. Well, why didn't you just hold on to it until then? Because that would be the logical thing to do. Gramarye envelope obtained. Is it a letter from her dad? An envelope about the Gramaryes. Huh. Shoot, I pressed the wrong thing. By putting the focus on the top screen, that makes the touch screen a bit small to be selectioning things with it through it. Okay, there we go. Alright, so what case are you going to use? You really want to know, don't you? Of course I do. I mean, I'm going to be defending, aren't I? If all goes well, then yes. Of course, this is just a test. We wanted everyone to start without preconceptions, a blank slate, as it were. There's a difference between having a blank slate and just being totally clueless. Whose dumb idea was that anyway? Well, mine. Committee chair, remember? Oh. Well, if you want to know that badly, I suppose, I could give you permission to examine the scene of the crime. Good. That's better. But you can't talk to anyone involved with the case. What? Then how am I supposed to defend? You let me worry about the details there. Remember, I'm in charge of this trial, all of it. But you don't want it to backfire, do you? Apollo, if I am in charge of the whole trial, that means the entire affair is my responsibility, for good or for bad. So you can't want it for it to backfire. Just do what you can. And don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Alright. I'd recommend going down to the detention center. Your client's waiting for you. You can ask about the scene there. But you just said I couldn't talk to anyone involved. Oh, you can talk to your client, if you can get her to talk. Well, time's a-wasting. So mysterious. I like the music that was playing just now. Detention center, visitor's room. Well. That's 20 minutes we've been winning here. 20 minutes! Maybe I should complain? I'm sure that guard has better things to do than stand there pretending he doesn't see us. You know, the minute we get angry, the client will show. Phoenix is a badass in this game. Well, mysterious, yeah. And a bit of a douche, but anyway. Yeah, I guess he is. He plays the cool card anyway. Hobo Phoenix. It always works that way. Like shouting, "Oh, waiter!" and they're standing right behind you. Oh, guard! Is our client going to be much longer? What are you talking about? Haven't you already started the meeting yet? Huh? Oh. She's been there the whole 20 minutes? Where'd you come from? Well, anyway, please have a seat. And a hobo look-alike, yep. Hobo Phoenix. I'm nervous, Apollo. It's the silence. It builds suspense. Why not you do something, Trucy? You're a magician, aren't you? That's right. Okay. Ah, Mr. Hat. I'm the amazing Mr. Hat. Doesn't seem to be working. She's gone. She passed out. She passed out? For real? Miss Magic Underwear might have been a better bet. That's Magic Panties, Apollo. Introductions. Is she mute? Hi? Well, I'm your defense. I really think it has to be fate, you know? And by fate, I mean destiny. Did you know I'm good with astrology? Tell me, what's your sign? I can tell you mine if you'd like, Apollo. No, never mind. I just got carried away there. I seem destined to get difficult clients, it seems. Clients that can't speak English or pretend to not be able to speak English and the like. So what's your name? Oh, right, I'm supposed to introduce myself first. I'm Apollo, Apollo Justice. And I'm Trucy Wright. I know, this is getting nowhere fast. Hey, I know, maybe you can tell us what happened. I'm your defense attorney after all. Anything out of the ordinary happened lately? Well, the other day the tourists from out of town stopped to ask me directions. Later, Trucy, I feel like I need to ask directions myself here. Well, that was fruitless. Though I think I understand the spare a little better now. You did good, Apollo. What's that, a glove? Look, she's doing her nails. What? Are nails more important than the fence? Is that it? Let's go, Trucy. Excuse me. Could you read this? Sure. I feel like a teenager on a first date. That would be a very awkward first date if that was the case. But anyway, and this is a love letter we passed from desk to desk at school. Stop looking so wistful and read it, Apollo. It's a business card with a name and an address. The name is Vera Misham. Vera Misham. If there's a play on words there, I don't get it. The address is for Drew Studio. Vera's card added to the court record. And you're giving me this card because... Well, looks like we're finished here. I wonder if Drew Studio is the scene of the crime. Let's go find out. Drew Studio. October 7th, Drew Studio. Wow, this looks like a studio. It's like life imitating art, or maybe it's the other way around. Time to investigate indeed. But the tape on the ground there, it's a bit jarring. Yeah, looks like we found our crime scene. Apollo, look at all those paintings. Hey, don't touch those. It's okay, I'm just looking. Very pretty. What is it? Apollo, look at this one. Looks half finished. You can still see the rough sketch underneath. But that's odd. The rough part doesn't look like the rest of the painting at all. Yeah, good point. That is odd. Maybe the same canvas has been used to paint over another painting or something like that? I mean, it happens. Drew Misham's paintings added to the court record. Hi, RNG. How's it going? All the paintings have a really different style too. Ah, I thought I might find you two here. Let me guess. Emma Sky. Huh. Emma, long time no see. Munch, 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 munch. Oh, seems like I run into you far too often. I'll bet I know why you're here. I'm good, thanks. I'm doing good. You know about the trial simulation tomorrow? I've heard about it, sure. So Mr. Wright chose you, huh? We don't even know what the case is about. Well, he was killed. The artist who owns the studio, that is. Mr. Drew Misham. Misham? And his daughter was put under arrest. Yeah, we just saw her at the detention center. It was funny, though. He seemed more like a victim than the kind of person who could commit murder. You don't say. Not even by poisoning? That's how it was done, you know? Poisoning is a common way to get the job done when the murderer is a woman. Poisoning? Anyway, Mr. Wright told me you'd be coming. Feel free to take a look around. I'll just be over here with my snackoos. Munch, 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 munch. Can't talk to anyone related to the case this time around. Which means we'd better find out as much as we can here at the scene. Or else. Let's have a look around. Chest of drawers. There's a painting behind the chest of drawers. Hey, there's a painting hidden back here. Hey, you're right. What if it's embarrassing somehow and he didn't want anyone to see it? You certainly seem pleased by the possibility. Huh, it's so normal. That's hardly something to get mad about. Isn't it the same as the other one? But with a different sky? Huh. What is it, Apollo? Well, doesn't this painting look like... Never mind. It looks like the other one, but the sky is different. I'd better get a professional opinion on this. Hidden painting added to the court record. It looks like this one. I wouldn't mind taking a closer look at those paintings. I just love oils. You know how they're so thick? Is that the word? These paints are all dry. I'm just surprised at how different these all are. Right, it looks the same. Zoom in. Yeah, you can tell the difference. Wait, is there something behind it, maybe? Doesn't look like it. Maybe this one, maybe? Nope. No dice. Nope. Because it's not unheard of hiding something behind a canvas. But anyway. That doesn't seem to be the case here. What's going on with this half-finished one? It must have been a work in progress. You can still see the rough sketch below. That's what's so weird. The sketch part doesn't really fit the finished parts. I noticed. That is weird. There's a red box over there by the door. That letterbox looks funny sitting inside a room like this. Let's take a look. Empty. The other half of that letterbox is actually connected to the outside of the studio. Mr. Misham would put his letters in there, and the postman took them away. Impressive that someone still writes letters in this day and age. Or wrote, rather. A cup. Ah, that's the victim's coffee mug. Aha! So the poison wasn't here. This is my first time seeing a real poisoned mug of coffee. I would hope so. Poisoned coffee. Not exactly, actually. What do you mean? No traces of poison were found in the coffee. What? You'll have to figure out the rest yourself. I'm officially not on your side after all. Coffee mug added to the court record. There's another cup. I imagine this coffee cup was for guests to use. Guests? Did the police already analyze this cup too? Not a trace of poison was found on that cup, so the killer was after Drew Misham alone. Eek! Apollo! That's where the body was! That's the spot where Mr. Drew Misham passed away. He put the coffee mug to his lips, and the next moment, there's quite a bit of paint on the ground. See that half-painted painting there? He must have been working on that right up to the moment he died. Wow, a true artist to the end. Or maybe he started it a year ago and was procrastinating. So, if there was no poison in the cup, that can mean two things. Either it was a poison that disappears very quickly, or he was already poisoned a long time before and the poison just took time to take effect. And the fact that he was just bringing the coffee cup to his lips when he collapsed has nothing to do with the fact that he was drinking coffee. That's the way I see it anyway. Let's take a closer look. It's not the paintings I wanted to take a look at. It's the mess that's on the floor there, on the ground. What if it's just a paint? Oh yeah, hold on. Ah, yeah, never mind. I almost missed that part. Look at all these paints, Apollo. There's so many. He's got like 20 kinds of red. You could repaint your suit, Apollo. How about this shade of green? That'll be enough of that, thanks. And I've just thought to myself, he could have been poisoned using the paint. What is all this equipment here for? It doesn't look very artistic, really. He had everything from a lathe to a laser cutter. Looks like he was ready to work on metals and wood too. Though his equipment's a bit old, to tell the truth. Why would a painter need all this? From the dust, I'd say he hasn't used this stuff for years. This corner doesn't fit with the rest of the studio. Oh, do you think I could borrow this? I want to cut a quarter in half to make a trick coin. This is a crime scene, Trucy. But these cost like 50 bucks at the magic shop. Magic shop. Let's take a closer look at this desk here. Oh, okay. It's the gas bottles there that I wanted to have a look at, but never mind. So is this Drew Misham? And this little girl must be Vera. Yes, they took that some years ago. They look close, a happy little family, until you arrested his daughter. Ah! Look, I was personally against that, okay? She just didn't seem very suspicious, scientifically speaking. Uh-huh, right. Something about the way that figure is posed. Is it pointing at something? I've seen that pose before. It's you, Apollo. See? You're making one of your flamboyant gestures. Please, I am a professional. I wonder why it's posed like that. Coincidence? Oh, cute! Look at the tiny frame, Apollo. Tiny is right. That thing's barely 2 inches high. What picture would fit in that? None, apparently. It's empty. There's no glass in it either. What's it doing sitting on the desk? This is a lesson for us all. Be sure to check the size when you buy frames. I don't think anyone would make a mistake with a frame that small. Is this a journal? Wow, talk about a clue. Let's read it. What is it, Apollo? He didn't write the name of the killer, did he? It's new. He didn't write a single line. Ah, he had me going for a while there. Hey, Apollo, what's this feather thingy? Isn't that a pen? Like an old-fashioned quill pen? But it doesn't have a pointy end. That was most likely for sweeping detritus off the desk. Wow, you sure know a lot, Emma. Bold and scientific. That's my motto. Exactly what about that was bold or scientific? Hey, Apollo. What's this? Never mind. It's the pen that I wanted to have a look at. And there's something in that drawer. This envelope has been opened and resealed. Oh, I know how to do that. You take a pot of boiling water and hold the envelope up to the steam. The glue melts and it opens. Cool, huh? Whoever did this wasn't so delicate. You're right. Looks like they just ripped it open and stuck it back together. Huh. The postmark on this letter is from 7 years ago. Why would someone open a letter then seal it again? I'd better hang on to this. Something to do with Phoenix Wright not being an attorney anymore because 7 years ago. It's the same time frame. There's a lamp. Oh, okay, never mind. There's a lamp I wanted to have a look at and not the frame, but... What do we have over there? What is all this equipment here for? It doesn't look very artistic, really. He had everything from a lathe to a laser cutter. Oh yeah, she already said that. She already said that. What's that? Is this desk for painting, Apollo? That would be a drafting table. Ah, the one on the right. Okay. Drafting? Basically, it's a tool for making precise diagrams. Wow, painting is harder than I thought. Why would a painter need a drafting table? Was he an architect too? Maybe he was. And he wanted to change trades. What's that big oil drum-like thing over there? Nah, she already said that. Nah, okay, see, it's gonna be the same description. I think I may have already examined everything. Unless there's something else that stands out. Those gas bottles did, but there's no examine thing when I hover the cursor over them, so that might be everything. Let's talk to Emma then. So this Drew Mission was some kind of artist, apparently. Did a lot of illustrations for books, I hear. Had a lot of female fans too, for what it's worth. Oh, well, I guess this stuff is kind of pretty. Like that oil painting over there, for instance. Yeah, that wasn't one of the illustrations, actually. Huh? So it was a standalone painting or something? Is that what she means? It was an odd bird, Misham. Hadn't shown his face to anyone until the end. What do you mean, to anyone? He was always locked up here in the studio, apparently. His only connection to the outside world was through letters he'd put in that letterbox there. Letters? Do people still write letters? What do you mean, Apollo? I mean, when was the last time you wrote a real letter? Don't most people use email and stuff these days? Not Mr. Misham. Couldn't stand technology, it seems. He did everything by mail. Maybe he thought that way was more artistic, you know? In any case, the only person besides him allowed in here was his daughter, Vera. Oh, you mean the killer? The suspect, please. We took some fingerprints, of course. The only ones found in the room were Mr. Misham's and Vera's, basically. Well, they both live there, it seems, so it's hardly surprising. Basically. Actually, last night, Mr. Misham gave an interview to a reporter for the first time. It happened during the interview, apparently. His first interview ever? Could you tell us a bit more about what happened the night of the murder? Tell us about the defendant. So, this woman, Vera. She's Mr. Misham's daughter, right? Yep, a real sickly girl ever since she was little. Hardly ever went outside. She did kind of give off a withdrawn sort of aura. She was homeschooled by her father, apparently. It was quite a scene when they took her to the detention center. She was screaming about how she'd die if they took her outside. That does sound like a scene. In the end, she agreed to leave if she was allowed to her good luck charm for company. Her good luck charm? Apparently, she has this charm that magically gives her the courage to go outside. Why can't I ever get a normal client? But why would a shut-in daughter kill her own dad? Don't look at me. So about the poison, it was found to be in his coffee, right? Nope, not precisely. Not precisely. What does that mean? It means see for yourself, I think. Like I said, last night was the first time someone from the outside came to into the studio. I guess mysterious painters who never go outside make for good articles. And it just so happened that he died the night of his first interview. At around 9 p.m. every night, Vera always made him a cup of coffee. Last night, he drank his usual coffee and suddenly became violently ill. And died? She poisoned him on the night of his interview? Wouldn't the reporter see? It wasn't near Mr. Misham when she brought her father his coffee. He was checking out some equipment in the back of the room. Supposedly, that's why she didn't notice he was there. It was the reporter who called the police, in fact. Wait, but why is she the suspect? If anyone is suspicious, it's the reporter. Yet the reporter never got near Mr. Misham's coffee. Even Vera acknowledges that. Regardless, I want to know more about this reporter. I bet Emma could help us out here. Don't forget, flattery will get you everywhere with her, Apollo. Huh? What are you two whispering about? Well, I was thinking, what is it we always do when we run into you at a crime scene? What is it we always do scientifically? Ah, you know me too well. Okay. Okay, meaning we can get, scientific now? Oh, I suppose, just this once. Bring me anything you find suspicious and we'll check it out. That letter, for example. Emma, about this. Oh, that! Yes, why, that's a bright red envelope. She sure is jumpy. Someone opened this, didn't they? My lips are sealed. Was it you? Your lips are sealed. That's the first. You mean, you know what's inside the envelope? Sure, I read it after all. So you opened it! Ah, you mean you were the one who ripped this open? Ha, please, I would have steamed it open. But she did sneak a peek at it, apparently. Know that I have a powerful weapon on my side. Weapon? Yes, the use of tools, highly specialized tools for information gathering. Tools I wouldn't mind getting my hands on. You should try flattering her, Apollo. They say a little praise can open big doors. Never heard that one, but it's good advice. Let's try talking to her some more. About that envelope we found, I was wondering if you could help us out with that tool you were mentioning. You want to know about my tool, do you? It's called an X-ray analyzer. X-ray, like the X-rays you get at the dentist? That's right, at least that's what I call it. Huh? It has a real name, but it's much more complicated. The X-ray spectralization... something. How am I supposed to remember all that? So basically, it lets you see inside things, like envelopes. That's right, you're sharp, Trucy. But it's a bit more complicated than that. In practice, of course. Actually, to tell the truth, I'm not really sure how it works scientifically. Can I try it out, Emma, please? Oh, I suppose. Of course, I've already checked out everything suspicious myself. Alright, let's give it a spin, Apollo. Yeah, what are you doing? Oh, just seeing if I could see through your hair, but it's like lead. Point that thing at me anymore. What? Point that thing at me anymore and it might all fall out. Then I wouldn't need an X-ray machine to see through it. Let's just get down to business, shall we? Right, let's test it on a sample first. It just so happens that I have a lottery ticket here. You set the sample in the device like so. I don't see anything. Patience, there's no need to get all antsy. Look at the right side of the screen. That's the layer view of the envelope. Layer view? You've got it set to display the outside of the envelope. Now see, actually, it's quicker to just have you give it a try. Turn that dial there for me, would you? That's right, that's how you choose what depth you want to scan. Hey, I got something. See, that's how you can read the letters on the ticket inside. Cool, huh? Except I can't read them. Just turn the dial a little more. What you have to understand is that a sheet of paper isn't really flat at all. When you zoom in that much, you see that paper is like a bunch of hills and valleys. Wow, really? This X-ray device uses a beam with a wavelength of only 0.05 microns. It breaks cards down into thin layers so it can only show what's written on that layer. I'm not entirely following you, but what good is it if you can't read anything? That's why we go on to step 2. Try rubbing the image a bit if you would. The image? You mean rub the screen? There, that fixes the image on the screen. Now turn the dial again, just a little. Good, now you can rub this image to fix it too. Hey, I get it. We just keep doing this until we've got the whole thing. Exactly, not bad. Neat. Let's do some more. I see something like number 0016 in the middle. Try again. Lottery number 0016. Try again. Ah, there we go. What, it's still not good enough? Oh, come on. That should be good enough. I can read it. Damn it. Ah, finally. Okay, let's print this one out. Does this mean I have to buy another one to win? Well, it's Emma's ticket. Let her buy another one. It's okay, there's no need. But see, this is the true hidden power of my weapon. Neat, huh? Now let's try it out on the real thing, shall we? And there we go. Now that I know that I have to wait for the beeping sound before moving to a deeper layer, that is a bit easier. Okay, let's print this one out. Mr. Drew Misham deposited the $100,000 in the designated account. Please send in a receipt once you've confirmed the transfer. Someone deposited $100,000 into Mr. Misham's account. His paintings must be really valuable. There's another page in there. Care to take a look? You bet I do. If you're going to read someone's mail, you might as well read it all. Here goes with the second page then. It's a bit finicky. Okay, let's print this one out. I pressed the button too quickly. So it was a letter about payment for one of its paintings. Why all the secrecy though? And what? Why was this letter the only one in here? It's 7 years old, right? Maybe it had some special significance to him. Well, Emma? Well, indeed. She knows something she's not telling us. Looks like she's keeping mum about it. Red envelope updated in the court record. Alright, is there something else I did not see? Anything else? No, okay, this I already examined. What would a painter need a drafting table? Yeah, right. Whatever. Yeah, but they won't add it to the court record, that thing. Maybe you need to investigate in other places. Maybe. Oh, I can't check it in 3D, that one. Okay, well, we've already checked that one. A big M. Is that a signature? Hey, there's something weird here. Hey, look there! That stain doesn't look so healthy, Apollo. That must be the Blue Mountain stuff we've been hearing about. Something tells me that even Blue Mountain coffee isn't this blue. No, the stain is probably... better ask Emma. Aha! Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm onto something here. Emma, about this mug. There's a pale blue residue on the rim. That. Yes, well, it's just a rumor. But I've heard there's a kind of coffee called Blue Mountain. I'm pretty sure it isn't actually blue, Emma. Right. Okay, you got me. That's left over from my testing spray. Forensic science. I knew your hobby was behind this somehow, Emma. It's not a hobby. So what kind of scientific stuff were you up to? The spray, that's what. It turns blue when it touches poison. So the poison that killed the victim was on this mug. That's right, see? It wasn't in the coffee. The killer applied it to the rim of the mug itself. Ah. So that's why she said it wasn't in the coffee. Okay, there we go. Wow, science is amazing. It certainly is helpful. Hold on a second. Let me see. Seeing where the poison is, look at this. Hold on. Let me explain where I think this is gonna go. Because this is reminding me of something in another case, I think, in a different game in the series, where there was something also about a cup with the lips marks not being on the right side of the cup, because the handle is on the right side here. So in order to drink from the cup, if the poison was put right there, it would have to be right-handed. But here it seems like he is left-handed, if I have to judge from the palette that is right in front of the painting over there. Was the victim left-handed? Because that wouldn't make sense then. That would be a contradiction, something to keep in mind for later. Okay, maybe Emma would be willing to help us out a bit more. You should try buttering her up, Apollo. They say flattery will get you everywhere. It's certainly worth talking to her a bit more. Okay. About poison analysis. I was afraid you were going to ask about that. See, the solution is used to test for atroquinin. Where have I heard that? Atroquinin, or quinin. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but anyway. The deadly poison found in the autopsy. Uh-oh, I know that spark in her eyes. She's getting excited. Best tread lightly. It's one of the most virulent poisons, but is absorbed into the body astonishingly slowly. It takes at least 15 minutes from the time of ingestion for adverse effects to show. Oh, and guess what? Recent research has shown... That's fine, really. We don't need to know all the gory details. I think I get it. We just spray this stuff on something you want to test, right? Precisely. You can find even the slightest trace of poison with this. Should I tell you? Well, I think I can figure it out. And it would be interesting if it turns out that this is the case, and... well, we'll see. Maybe it might not even be useful at any point, what I just said before. It was just more thinking to myself more than anything else, but anyway. But thanks. I want to try too, Emma. Pretty please? You don't have to ask twice. I already used it on everything suspicious, of course. Yay, let's give it a whirl, Apollo. Ow, what are you holding? What are you doing? I was just seeing if I got a reaction off of you. How is this for a reaction? Never do that again. I'm not poisonous. Tell that to those hapless witnesses on the stand. Let's just get down to checking for real poison, shall we? That's probably for the best. Haven't I tried everywhere by now? The paintings. Well, there's not necessarily anything here. Too bad in the reaction there. I'm sure Emma checked out all the likely spots. Well, yeah, because if I keep trying when I'm not even supposed to find anything, I could be trying for hours. What is it, Apollo? Did you spray that little desk over there? I don't think so. The spray probably can't reach that far, you know? Let's check it out, just to be sure. Hmm? Enhance that image, please. Eek! A reaction, Apollo. Oh, where? Where? The inside of that cute little frame, look. Well, would you look at that? Nice going, Trucy. I'm known to work magic. Never mind that I was the one who found it. Tiny frame added to the court record. Why would the inside of that frame have poison on it? There was probably something in the frame before. It was probably not empty. It looks like we found the only other place that was poisoned in any case. So, Emma, I was wondering, what's the story about this reporter that came here for a story the night of the crime? I'm afraid I can't tell you because he's going to be a witness tomorrow, I hear. I thought so. I'll never forget that face, but what was his name? Oh, right. Brushel. Brushel. He's after a scoop to sell to the papers. So a reporter comes for an interview with a painter. His first interview ever, and that night he's killed. Seems strange to you? Really strange. It does raise a few questions. I'd like to speak with this reporter if I could. Well, I hear this on the beat today, too. He said something about covering a magician. Magician? Well, if it's not Trucy, that leaves only one other person. It wasn't Valent Grammarie by any chance, was it? Yeah, something like that. He's got some big show lined up, I hear. So he's out interviewing Valent Grammarie. Looks like I'll be heading out to that Coliseum again sooner than I thought. Here, I'll give you that reporter's card if you want. Brushel's card added to the court record. I think I'm done here now. Woohoo! This is it, Apollo. The place where magic and dreams converge. Just a while ago, it was the place where murder and nightmares converged. Let's go say hi to Uncle Valent. What about the case? Only a performer laughs like that. The young Miss Trucy. How often I hoped we'd meet again, only to tell myself it was an impossible dream. Tee-hee, Uncle Valent, how's it going? I'm glad to see you too. Of course you are. Humility is definitely not one of his stronger traits. Well, Miss Trucy, how does the day find you? If you've come to give me flowers, do it after the show, I beg you. Actually, we came to wish you good luck, and congratulations on your big magic show. Oh, but it is I who wish to congratulate you. Not everyone is so lucky as to witness miracles such as I shall perform. Yeah, you're amazing. We get the picture. The world will watch in wonderment as magnified illusions are reborn. Here on stage, by my hand. Well, I guess I could talk to him. The Big Magic Show. Everyone's talking about the Big Magic Show. Is it true that the Grammarie miracle is back after a 7-year absence? Miss Trucy, I must apologize. This show and this honor should have been his. Daddy. My co-magician in training, Zach Grammarie, if that terrible thing hadn't. It's okay. Your father was a great magician, Trucy. If he were alive, then I, Valent Grammarie, would have been proud to stand upon the stage as his assistant. Thanks, Uncle Valent. You know, I'm happy you're doing the show. To think, we get to see the great Magnify's illusions again. She really is looking forward to this, isn't she? Who is this Magnify person? My mentor, the magnificent Magnify Gramarye, was a true deity among magicians. A creator god who gave birth to magic and illusions that defied our very imaginations. I was so little when I last saw one, but I still remember his shows. He did wheelies in a sports car through the air above the audience, and then sped off to outer space faster than the speed of sound. I'm guessing that memory was a bit embellished. For 7 long years, the world has been waiting for a miracle to match his. As heir to the Gramarye secrets, it falls to me to provide one. It is my God-given destiny. Yes, you nameless face who speaks for the nameless masses, how can I help you? If the world was waiting, why did you hold off for 7 long years? It appears the lad isn't informed. Perhaps you have heard of the magic known as law, which governs our land. I have, though I'm not sure it qualifies as magic. The performance of Magnify's miracle was impossible. A certain law prevented it for 7 years, but no more. 7 years. That phrase sure likes to pop up, doesn't it? Fun fact, the creator of the Ace Attorney game loves doing magic tricks. Oh, does he now? I wasn't aware of that. I think I remember watching an interview of the guy in Game Center CX, the Japanese TV show. That was around the time when the games were starting to appear on the Game Boy Advance in Japan. I should see if I can track that down at some point. And why was that? A little matter called performance rights, Mr. Rusi. Performance rights. Can you tell us about these performance rights? Magnify's magic relied on an incredibly innovative idea, a trick if you will. That trick was considered his property and as such was protected by property laws. Intellectual property maybe. Magnify knew this and bequeathed it in his will. To one person. You mean him? Yes, Miss Trucy, it was your father. Zach Gramarye was the inheritor of the Gramarye miracle. Daddy. Yet as you well know, he is gone. It disappeared suddenly 7 years ago. I think I see where this story is going. Once a person is classified missing for a certain period of time, they are considered legally deceased, correct? In all absoluteness, those rolled up sleeves conceal your competence well, young man. That certain period of time of which you speak is 7 years. Oh. Yes, Miss Trucy. Though it pains me to say it, this past spring, April to be precise, was the time your father was legally declared deceased. In the absence of a formal will, the secrets of our mighty mentor Magnify passed to me. This was, in fact, stipulated in the will by Magnify himself. Is that how it works, Apollo? Yeah, it's called death in absentia. In absentia. He's declared missing permanently. Daddy, so he's disappeared? He's not like really dead? Usually when there's only 3 things you can ask a person, then that means I have to present something for the 4th option to appear. Very well, give it to me. Alright, no thanks. Are all magicians like this? Polo, what was that look just now? I was just thinking how hard it is to get any information out of a magician. So a journalist was here on a story. Yeah, actually I think this might be the thing I have to show. All eyes in the universe are upon my stage. All pens seek to commit its mysteries to paper. His name was Brushel. Brushel. The law is an actual thing in real life. That law, that one. I think it makes sense. If you mean that one specifically, because yeah, obviously law is an actual thing in real life. I think it remembers him. It doesn't look too happy about it. Brushel, that cloying smell of mint when he smiles. Yes. Could you tell us more about him? What did he want? There we go, that 4th option I was looking after. There we go. A man by that name called on me just now. Just now? Valen's vision is always toward tomorrow. Valen's feet step always forward. That is all. That's all? Very confusing. I am to perform a big magic show, yes? I wanted someone to cover it, yet he had ears only for that incident. That incident? In any case, I requested that the rapacious, I don't know how to pronounce that. I know what it means, I just don't know how to pronounce it. Rapacious reporter remove himself. So a painter has died. What of it? It is but a footnote in the footlights compared to the magic of Gramarye. Uncle Valen, do you know where the reporter went? I recommend it visit that place popular with penalized perpetrators. The detention center. He was a rude individual. Might I see that card? Sure. He would tear apart my respectability. I will tear apart him. Oh, here it comes, Apollo. Uncle Valen's big magic trick. Is he going to fix the card? Not sure that qualifies as big magic. No, he's not gonna fix anything. He just tore it apart. What happened to the big magic? It is not more miraculous for it. Is it not more miraculous for it to stay writ? He must have really not liked that journalist. Okay. Do I still have the bits? I know. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. The detention center then. I already asked him about 4 things, so... Ah, you're here to see Vera Misham. Yes, that's right. She's in the medical office at the moment. Medical office? Is she okay? She's just lying down. Said she didn't feel so good. I'm sorry, but I can't allow any meetings at the moment. Most annoying client ever. Guess we should come back. Let's try there again, I guess. Can I present more stuff to her, maybe? Because it is true that I haven't tried everything. Well, my badge for one thing. Emma, I was wondering if you could take a look at this. Look, I'm a detective. You can't just ask me any old thing and expect an answer, okay? I think you need to be a little more focused in your inquiries, scientific even. Somehow I knew she'd get around to science. Yeah, right, okay. Well, I don't see the point. That maybe? No. No, okay. That's the default answer. Yeah, I'm wondering about this. The fact that it's not finished or something. Oh, that. Quite good, isn't it? That's not what I wanted to ask you about. You want to examine it, is that it? I'd be happy to let you if you had a good reason. But without that, sorry. I guess she wants us to do a little footwork on our own first. What, you want me to go somewhere else first? Okay, what if I could go back to the detention center? Okay. Presenting, are we? I did my fair share of that back in the day. Showed my attorney's badge a lot too. Yeah, because I did that too. He may look cool and calm now, but you should have seen him before. You know me too well, Trucy. I'm glad I provided this opportunity for a little family bonding. Oh, come to think of it. Yeah, we got your envelope, by the way. Because as I was going through them in front of Emma, I was thinking to myself, I should try to show it to that guy if I don't know what to do. I was wondering if you could tell me about this. Aha! Why, that bears the Gramarye seal. Uncle Valent, is something wrong? Trucy, where did you get this? Huh? Daddy gave it to me. Your daddy? My partner Zach No, my other daddy, Phoenix Wright. Why now? Why would your Lord Daddy? Lord Daddy? That's kind of stretching the whole archaic thing a bit. The signature upon the back, do you recognize it? Is it our father's by any chance? That belongs to none other than Zach Gramarye. I kinda saw it coming. What? Daddy signed this? Might I be so bold as to open it? I'm sorry, but I can't let you do that. What's in this envelope, I wonder? We can use the machine, can't we? Now the time has come when I must return to make my prestidigitation preparations. By your leave, Miss Trucy. Thanks, Uncle Valent. 3 days from now, make ready for a miracle. Maybe I can use the machine to not have to open it. What do you think that journalist was after? And why did Valent react like that to this envelope? I think it's time to pay the detention center another visit. Oh, should I go there first then? Detention center. I think I hear what you're saying. We're all doing it for the money. End quote. No, not at all. Looks like someone's already meeting here. Maybe that reporter? Huh. He looks weird. Hey there, how you doing? Who might you be? Sorry, we didn't know someone was already here. I'm Apollo Justice, attorney at law. Talk about a nervous monkey. You're Justice, you! You know me? Do I know you? Of course I know you. Stares down witnesses on stands till they spill beans, end quote. That's not true. What's he writing? He's the, Rita Skeeter of the Phoenix Wright universe. Are you a reporter by any chance? Who? You? You're Trucy. Eh? Am I famous? Oh yeah. Trucy Wright hates carrying a bag. Puts everything she owns in her panties, end quote. Eek! That's so not true. Just hold on to your breeches there. I'll wrap up this interview in a jiffy. Interview? So guard, I think I know what's going on here. Guarding rooms is my life. What else could I possibly need? End quote. No, how many times do I have to tell you this? Look, I've got work to do. You deal with him. Thanks. Not. Did you come here to interview the guard? Sheesh, what is that? An annoying journalist. Oh, what a pickle. Accused wouldn't talk. Had to interview someone or go plumb crazy, end quote. Huh? I should have guessed. Where are my manners? Name's Brushel, Spark Brushel. I'm not picky. Journalist just closes his eyes, writes, end quote. What's that nauseatingly strong mint smell every time he grins? He has a toothbrush in his pocket. What the hell? Until you've been interviewed by me, you don't know what thrilling is. Wild romp through crossroads of mayhem, madness, end quote. I can see that. He's writing something again. What if he's a reporter? Maybe he knows something. So, Mr. Brushel, you're a journalist. Me? Look, let me state one thing for the record here. Yes? I'm the interviewer, you understand, yeah? I'm the one asking the questions here. End quote. Hey, cleaning yourself is a must. At any time of the day. Okay. For instance. Yeah, but do you have to carry it in your front pocket like this? For instance, you think a movie director watches movies? Well, I think he probably does. Exactly. I knew you'd understand. Huh? Huh? What? So, the night of the murder, you were at Drew's studio? Who, me? Look, let me state one thing for the record. Yes? I may look calm and collected, but I'm busy, real busy, always on the road. Journalist always buys one-way tickets, never looks back. End quote. I can understand that philosophy, but you want to know the thing about one-way tickets, once you use them, they're gone. All because you have to give them to the guy at the airport. True enough, but don't they give normal tickets away too? Exactly, see, it's the same thing. What is? This is not very fruitful, is it? So, you want to do a story on Drew Misham, and he never had a story done about him before? That's right. Look, let me state one thing for the record here. Again? Well, his name is Brushul, yeah. Yeah, true enough. What? I'm sure you're going to want to know about my source. What tipped me off to Drew? Why do the interview in the first place? Well, yes. Look, it's like... Oh, I've got it. Say, there's this burger joint with fabulous ketchup. You think the burger guy is going to tell me where he got it? At the supermarket, maybe. Exactly, see? That's what I'm talking about. I think I may have actually understood that one. Well, there's nothing I can talk about, really. Walls have ears, eyes, especially glass walls with speakers, end quote. Right, guess we'll leave then. But since you're here, might as well tell you a tidbit of news I saw, just for the heck of it. Sure, tell us, just for the heck of it. Present him the magician? I can't present profiles in that one, can I? I remember it like it was yesterday. I'd seen a movie on a trip and wandered into this burger place with amazing ketchup. What an article in a tabloid caught my eye. Famous oil painting stolen from art dealer's gallery, end quote. I believe it was. An oil painting. Happens every day, right? Now, maybe Emma Sky will agree to have a look at the painting she wouldn't let me show her before. Happens every day, right? But I thought I'd seen that painting somewhere before. A painting of a giant peach floating down the river. That's the one! Someone stole an oil painting of a giant peach. He was making a fake, maybe. One of them, the one that's finished is the real one, and the unfinished one is the copy. Let's try that, if the game is gonna let me. Well, how did it go? Find anything out? Actually, there was one thing I wanted to check with you. What's with that scary face you're making? And what's with the I know something but I'm not telling face you've got going, Emma? The copy, I guess. That one. No? Or the other one? Emma, about this painting. Oh, that. Quite good, isn't it? That's not what I wanted to ask you about. You want to examine it, is that it? I'd be happy to let you if you had a good reason. But without that, sorry. I guess she wants us to do a little footwork on our own first. Or that one? It was stolen, no? I was hoping you wouldn't figure that out. Do you think you could tell us a bit about this? I suppose. It's what you think. Drew Misham was a forger. Yeah, there we go. A forger? There we go. So what exactly is a forger? Well, basically, it's someone who makes forgeries. Fakes, in other words. Fakes! Copies of an original. Exact copies, so precise you can't tell them apart. Well, why not just photocopy them? The big problem with forgeries is that people try to sell them as the real article. It's a crime, of course. So Drew Misham was a criminal? I'm afraid so. He received money to create elaborate forgeries. To supplement his work in illustration, I guess. I see. Actually, that's why I brought this here in the first place. What do you mean? When you're trying to determine if a painting is a forgery, the rough sketch underneath can be a valuable clue. So the rough sketch is like practice for the real thing? Like doing a magic trick in front of a mirror before you go on stage? But not in the case of a forgery, not necessarily anyway. You know what the finished product is going to look like after all. Oh yeah, I guess you would. That's why I brought this. I'm going to use it to see what's under the paint of the finished pieces. I get it now. Not that I really needed to go to such length, seeing as how one of the paintings was only half finished anyway. That's enough proof, yeah. Still, it'd be neat to see Mr. Misham's rough sketches, kind of like what he was drawing when he thought no one was looking. True, that would be interesting, and maybe valuable for our case. You should try buttering her up, Apollo. Flattery will get you everywhere, they say. Maybe I should ask Emma to help us out. What, should I present the painting, the portrait? Emma, about this painting from behind the dresser there. Ah, yes. It's what you think. Drew Mission was a forger. Yeah, you already said all of that. I kind of wanted to see the rough sketch under this painting, and I was wondering if your tool there might do the trick. Oh, fine, fine. Just this time, though. Okay, let's check it out. Oh, I get to pick? It's gonna be more complicated, this one, right? That's not what the painting... Oh, wait. This painting is representing something else? Hold on. Wait, is there a layer where I didn't fully... This one. Ah, there we go. Okay, let's print this one out. It shows something else. What's that? Someone on top of a tower? On fire? What? What the heck? Wow, he really blows. The finished painting isn't anything like the rough. Devices like mine didn't exist until recently. He probably thought he could draw any sort of thing he wanted to for the rough. What do you mean? Well, in the past, you could only analyze the composition of a rough sketch. Claviar? Composition. In other words, the traces of charcoal between paint and canvas, so you could tell if there had been a rough sketch, but not what it looked like. Ah, I think I follow you. So in essence, it wouldn't matter if what was underneath a finished painting. Some pros would actually paint out a rough sketch entirely, and do a completely new painting on top of that. So Mr. Mission was drawing whatever he wanted before painting over them. Possibly. Is there a problem with that? Not particularly, but something about the sketch itself is kind of odd. You're awfully silent all of a sudden, Apollo. You think we could check out one of the other paintings? Well, sure. You like this detection stuff, don't you? It's a game of cards. Suspiciously reminding of the one with Phoenix Wright and that guy in the... Yeah, the first case. This one too. What's wrong, Apollo? You look so serious all of a sudden. You think I could just look at the last of the three? Fine by me, knock yourself out. This is the only one we haven't tried yet. There seems to be a theme there. What's that? You know, that reminds me of something in the last case of, was it Trials and Tribulations? Or maybe not, never mind. No, that looks like a noodle stand? A noodle stand. What the heck is all this? Yeah, it's a noodle stand. It's the noodle stand from that other case, I think. I hesitate to ask why you're getting so excited. Yeah, like the third image has something to do with the case from the third case, and the second image with the second case, and the first case, the stolen noodle crime. Yeah. Yeah, that makes more sense now, yeah. It looks like it's showing all the previous cases for some reason. Trucy, look at these 3 sketches. Do you notice anything? Yeah, the game of poker, the noodle stand. And this would be the race platform and the guitar catching fire. Ah, there. Now you're both white as sheets. What's going on? These sketches are of the 3 cases I worked on. What? The murder in the poker room at the Borscht Bowl Club. The dead man pulling the noodle stand. And then the events that transpired during the Gaviners concert. What could it mean? How could he have painted those things, and why? That's what I want to know. Wait, is Drew Misham your father? Wait, no, that can't be. Give me a break. Does that seem even remotely possible to you? Come on. I never even heard of any Drew Misham before. I hadn't even seen a picture of him, but there were my cases, drawn on his canvas. Every single one of them. It couldn't have been a coincidence. Just who was this Drew Misham? And what did he have to do with me? You will find out tomorrow, because I'm gonna have to go now. So I will be back tomorrow in the afternoon, not at night, not like today, because tomorrow is Saturday, and on weekends I stream in the afternoon, European time. I'm gonna make sure I put a restore point there. Okay, so I'm gonna go off now, and I should be back tomorrow in the afternoon. Then I will have about 4 hours normally, if all goes well, to stream more of this. So I will be streaming more tomorrow. And I don't expect, because I know that the case is going to be long, so I probably won't be done tomorrow. But by Sunday, I might be done already. So, tomorrow and the day after, I will be streaming in the afternoon, and I think I should be able to finish this game. And then we'll move on to another game after that one. But thanks for watching, and I will be seeing you guys again very soon. Bye-bye. Take care of yourselves. See ya.